Yeah, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
The world's just changed so radically, and we're all running to catch up. How can we possibly have the slightest idea of what to expect? The best intentions. Some of the worst things imaginable have been done with the best intentions.
Dr. Malcolm, I had to share a few campfire stories with my uncle.
You can convince the Washington Post and the Skeptical Inquirer of whatever you want. But I was there, I know what happened, and so do you.
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should.
Hello and welcome to the April edition of Jurassic Minutes, where we discuss recent movie, toy and franchise news for the Jurassic series. I'm Brad.
I'm Dave.
And this is the April edition. On this episode we're going to be talking a little bit about the sad passing of Simon Masrani. We got a bit more Dominion news coming along, even though there's no production at the moment. And we got some more concept art from Robert Delgado. So all that and a lot more coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, do I hate being right all the time.
Alright, Dave, I'm not going to say we woke up, because we all obviously wake up different times around the world, but this past week the world was made known of the sad passing of Simon Masrani, aka Irrfan Khan.
I think you mean that the other way around.
Well, I wasn't even going to say. I've already tried to butcher his name once, so I was just going to refer as Simon Masrani, and I did that in the opening credits as well, which I do mean Irrfan Khan. I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry, but yes, Simon Masrani, and died unfortunately at age 53 due to a bit of an illness, not corona related, thank God.
I believe it was cancer that he succumbed from. He was diagnosed, I believe, about 5 years ago, and he had been fighting ever since. And unfortunately, it was just during this time that he ended up passing. And I actually thought it was going to end up being. When I first heard the news, I thought it was coronavirus as well. But then it said But then I heard cancer, and I'm like, well, I did know that he was fighting that.
Not the best week or couple of weeks for the family ever, because his mother had only just died the previous week, which probably wouldn't have helped the mental state a lot as well. Some people do laugh about the whole Anakin, you're breaking my heart, but there is a mental thing there as well with some illnesses and people passing away. But it's definitely a tough time for the family.
Yeah, interesting. You brought that up because that actually did happen with Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds, where Carrie Fisher died, and then I think a couple of days later, Debbie Reynolds, her mother, died.
Yep. And he was a pretty big Bollywood star. I honestly haven't seen any of the films there he's related in. Jurassic World was his appearance in my focus when he'd done that movie, and only now going back to sort of the Amazing Spider-Man, he's in that, and it's Masrani and not even though it was filmed and made before Jurassic World.
Yeah, I forgot he was even in that one. I do remember him being in Life of Pi, and although I never actually finished the movie, he was in Slumdog.
Yeah, I do recall he's been in there. I haven't seen any of those films, but I do know he was in there. Was his just reading here? Was his mother an actress at all, or did he follow in her footsteps, or was just sort of going off the Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher thing?
I have no idea. I never really followed his family much. I just knew that him as an actor, and that I was a fan of his work.
Yep. And we're about to get into some of his stuff in the film as well, which comes at a sad time. So he will be missed.
What is it? What? What's going on? What's going on? Information, please. What?
You're much happier not knowing.
Coming up next, David, you posted during the week some amazing looking prototype art for a stegosaur from the Jurassic Art Studio. They've posted a couple images up of this this figure.
I actually meant to go back and actually kind of correct this because it's not actually from Jurassic Art Studio. It's actually from a Chinese company called Nanmu. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, but they've done a lot of kind of off-brand, I guess we could call it, Jurassic Park inspired models. Like I know they've done the Indominus Rex, the Indoraptor, T-Rex, Brachiosaurus they've got coming up soon.
Mm-hmm.
Apatosaurus, and not all of them. They're not always like purely Jurassic Park inspired. I know that the Allosaurus they did was more anatomically correct than some of the other models that they've been. But yeah, it's I think they've got a Mosasaur, or they're coming out with a Mosasaur, they may be. But yeah, I know that they had Rexy. And then they did a green version of it. Rebor actually does the same thing. They did the female T-Rex, and then they did the jungle colors, which was basically the male colored version of that model.
Yeah, and Jurassic Art Studio's got a lot of photos here of some of those figures, which look fantastic, I must admit.
Yeah, and then so that was an exciting one I'm looking forward to because I know that if they do it in the Lost World colors, they'll definitely be an instant pickup for me.
Yeah, yep. What sort of price range do they go for, do you know?
Not that much. I never actually bought any of their figures, but you can buy them off of eBay, second or third party. I'm not sure what you'd call that, but they're not really that much. I think the Allosaurus... Yeah, they're Allosaurus, which I'm assuming this will be on the same scale, on the 1/35th scale that they work with, sells for around $60, so I probably assume around that as well. I mean, considering that this is probably more considered knockoff as far as high-end models go, yet they're made out of like a kind of like a soft PVC, but they're still very nicely detailed, nicely sculpted, nicely painted, so they're kind of the budget version of the high-end models as far as dinosaur figures go. They're not Papo, but they're not Iron Studios and Prime One or Chronicle Collectibles.
Yeah, and it'd be good to have just them having the ability to flex a little bit, not like Polystone, that way if something brushes up against her, if it falls over, it normally breaks. These would be a bit more sturdy.
Yeah, thankfully this will not do that. I know that that W Dragon, another Chinese kind of off-brand company, as we'll continue to call them, does similar work, and they do theirs with they've done the Jurassic Park male. The Jurassic Park male T-Rex, and I gotta say that is probably the best model of a male T-Rex ever done by anybody, period. They've got a Thrasher-sized version that's bigger than their 1/35th version. It's about 24 inches long, whereas it's about twice as big as their 1/35th version. And unfortunately, it's just, I mean, it's nice, but the one that's being sold on their eBay account right now is like $500, including shipping, and I just can't justify $500 on a 24-inch figure, unfortunately.
Yeah, true.
No matter how, not even how nice it is, you know?
Yeah. Yep. I've been a bit hesitant. I don't know if I mentioned this when my breakout T-Rex got here, but the last inch and a half to 2 inches of the tail was snapped off.
Yeah, you did say that. You did mention that.
Yeah, so I would definitely be in for some of these figures a bit more pliable and a bit more robust and cheaper. definitely priced.
Yeah. The other one that I have from W Dragon is the Spinosaurus, which Nanmu, who's making the Stegosaurus, also does a version of that. And I honestly think that the W Dragon version is better. I think the sculpt is more accurate, and the paint, it looks better on it than the Nanmu figure. And I mean, I'd have to say that as far as these figures go, Rebor is probably the least accurate, but has some very nice posing. It's not very generic posing at all. Nanmu is then the step above that, and then W Dragon at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Are you hearing this?
Coming up next, Chris Pratt's been on the internet advertising or promoting hashtag All In Challenge. David, do you know what the All In Challenge is? Because apparently he's been challenged by Justin Bieber to do this. It seems to be some must be stars or something getting fans involved and raising money for.
I know that he's done it before. I think he did it with Endgame and possibly Fallen Kingdom as well, where he kind of did this challenge where kind of a fundraiser. I know that Chris Pratt does that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
He's kind of big-hearted in that way, but I don't think they've ever had a fan involvement where they actually get to be part of the movie. I know they've sold sweepstake tickets, prizes, even like tickets to the premiere, but I don't think they've ever offered it to be actually an extra that gets eaten or anything.
I hope he's talked to Colin about this. But yeah, $10 donation or entry in sweepstakes gets you in. There's two higher bidders. The number one highest bidder gets there's an auction item that they'll get, and each winner of each of the two will get to appear in Jurassic World Dominion getting eaten by a dinosaur. Which I'd laugh if it was just they had a stuntman or something getting picked up, much like the Pteranodons attacking Main Street, and they just impose your face onto them or something. It's not actually you there, but
I'm hoping for copies.
Yeah.
Death by copies.
Yeah.
And you just get to go the whole flailing Dieter act.
It would be amazing. There's restrictions. Filed links to Chris Pratt's website where it's all getting done there, and I'm sure it's only open to people that are in the certain countries where they're filming or something, so that puts me way out of luck. But
unfortunately, that is true. I believe it's restricted to American entries. Sorry, international listeners.
Oh, well, yeah. That's what we're used to over here, but I do love how he's called out Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, and Robert Downey Jr. Avengers Assemble. He's getting them onto the challenge.
Chris is Assemble.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Well, he would be the third Chris if he wasn't already being challenged. So yeah, if you've got deep pockets at the moment, if you're not locked up at home in quarantine and everything else, and want to get your face hopefully on the screen, this is the last time maybe in the franchise to do it.
Dennis, our lives are in your hands and you have butterfingers?
One more thing here, Dominion related. Colin Trevorrow has posted out a photo, the second Maisie on set photo that we've got this month. Her and the bike was March, wasn't it? Interesting here. Looks like there's an aeroplane in the background. A bit of timber on set, and it's actually snowing. No fake snow like we're currently seeing in the Jurassic World Minutes in Texas.
Yeah, you kind of look at the background. It kind of looks like there might be some machinery going on in the background there. In the picture with Maisie, you can see that there looks like there's like a bobcat or something leaning against a wall behind her.
Okay, I can see it now. When I first seen it, I thought it may have been Owen's cabin still not built with the pile of timber, but looking at that pile of timber there and looking at the yellow machine behind Maisie, it's one of those big front-end loaders. It's got the grabs on it for unloading log trailers at sawmills, so I wonder what that's got to do with anything. Not going too deep into the spoilers or potential plot. I find it interesting that we got real snow.
Yeah, I think this is honestly the first time in the entire franchise there's ever been actually real snow used in the movies.
Well, just the snowy landscape, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've got to love these photos, and I posted them up on the Facebook page of the behind the scenes from the Texas set for the Mitchell house, and all the extras walking around in t-shirts and shorts, and it's supposed to be snowing. We're here, everyone's in the hoods, parkas, beanies. They're it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
Would this have been Canada?
Yes, I think. Where was it? Oh, it was near Vancouver. That's right.
Yeah. So even though production stopped, we're still getting these little tidbits coming out, which is good to see. Just keep that spark alive for the film. When if it's delayed, if it comes out on time, we'll know in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Grant, you should come look at this.
Up next in news here, we have some new trademarks from Universal Pictures, hinting at a possible Jurassic World Aftermath video game.
That's right. Yeah, it's I think I'm not sure this is a resurrection of a previous first-person shooter that had been previously canceled by Universal, but it does definitely look interesting. We don't really know a lot about it. We only know that there's this trademark out there right now. I wonder if this is going to tie into Camp Cretaceous anyway, because it's Jurassic World Aftermath, or if it's going to tie in more to the aftermath of the events in Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, I think there's some speculation here with the description sent to the trademark office that there's some details in there that are very similar to what Jurassic World Survivor was going to be back in 2015, but I can't see them. They'd have to have some sort of link in. If it's going to be a video game coming out around the release of Dominion, it's going to have to be something that sort of bridges the gap again, or set after Fallen Kingdom at least. And Camp Cretaceous could definitely fall into that boat as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just good we're not getting another mobile park builder or something. It's hopefully going to be one of them world exploration games, MMOs, whatever you call them.
What's that? Oh, sorry.
That's just good. It's going to be a world.
Oh yeah.
To visit.
Yeah, I think it is going to be not exactly open world in the sense of a digital RPG, but more, I think, that in a sense that it's going to be exploratory. You're not as you said, it's not going to be another park builder app.
Yeah, and there's no this. This is about the same point as where the TV show is. There's no developer attached to it yet. Apparently, there's word that there's a well-known studio that's exploring the Jurassic IP. Well, it has been over the last couple of years. So whether someone's come in, I hope it's not Activision. someone that can do these sort of games and give us sort of Trespasser 2 on the Nublar with bit better graphics.
Yeah.
And it's probably the one thing that can continue to be made in this COVID world too. Developers at home working on the computers doing all the stuff for it. So.
Well, another thing is we haven't really had a really open world first-person shooter for Jurassic Park since Trespasser, really. And that's been over 20 years now, so we're really, really due for one in a genre that is frankly ripe for it. I mean, there's Turok back in, I think, the 90s that was very popular as a first-person shooter dinosaur game, which, I mean, I'm surprised Jurassic Park really never latched on to that you could, explore the world of Jurassic Park and have to, while escaping dinosaurs, you know?
Well, just a Turok game with the Nublar skin on it, like the background effects, all that sort of stuff would be fantastic. And I'm sure there's people out there that have made their own versions of something and all that sort of stuff. And so even Turok I'm pretty sure it got an update or a reboot when either PS4 or Xbox One came out. I know a couple of those older games got a redo.
I thought I got a sequel back in the early 2000s, but I don't really remember much. I never really got into it, frankly, but I just remember, I just knew of it so much, not knowing it, not even playing. I'm sorry, not really playing it though.
Yep. Yep, nah, same here.
Is this how you make dinosaurs?
No. This is how you play God.
In March, we got a bit of a art dump from Robert Delgado as he was going back through some of his JP3 lab concept arts, and we've got another one here this month, more so to some of the equipment, the robotic arms and all that sort of thing. And David, we got another InGen logo.
Yeah. These are kind of weird in a way, just because, I mean, for one, the robots themselves almost kind of remind me of something out of, like, AI, artificial intelligence, which Spielberg was doing concurrently. Well, Joe Johnston was filming Jurassic Park 3, and it's just kind of weird because you got these main body, basically, things that have different tools on them, like grasping arms and stuff, you know? Hoses coming out of them.
And seemingly mobile too, like they'd go between the incubators instead of having the arms hanging from the ceiling like we got in the...
InGen getting into the robo-nanny business.
Well, and it does... Certainly the first three films anyway in the Park trilogy, you never get too much of a sense of InGen being sort of 12 months ahead technological-wise of what the rest of the world is. Like that whole tech side of things, we sort of see some of that in Jurassic World with the holograms, with the stun guns and all that sort of stuff.
Which is interesting because in the book, at least, the idea of Jurassic Park is that it's set, and not set so much in the future, but that the world of Jurassic Park, the technology is a couple years ahead of real life. And so you're able to kind of imagine these kind of concepts of what will this kind of technology that we have right now, what will it look like when it's at its peak, you know?
Yeah, and even in Jurassic Park, Nedry's going on about automation and all that sort of stuff, and what they'll try to do in '93 with that park, with automation and all that. When in practicality, like a lot of those computer screens in there were just dummy screens that had people in a fake set and that putting displays on, because, or even Nedry's telephone call, they couldn't do that. They had to have a recording of the guy at the dock just to make it interact with between Nedry and that guy. So, and we did discuss in Jurassic Park 3 when we get to the lab, sort of the light fixtures, the telephones, how it sort of looked a bit newer than what you'd expect in 1993. So, yeah, some fascinating art here. It looks like they were going to make one mobile like a car or something too. A very rough sketch.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
like a buggy or something.
And then there's another one that it's kind of just a sketch off in the top there that looks like it would have had like 4 kind of ballish looking wheels. And then it's got a main ball body with some arms coming out of the top. And then, of course, in the corner next to a finished one, we've got like, so it looks like a mouse droid from Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't know why or what that's purpose would even be. I could just see a lab technician getting angry because one keeps on running to his leg or something while he's trying to check eggs.
They make wonderful soccer balls.
Interesting, it's dated the 5th 00, so May of 2000, about 12 months before it was due to be